Welcome to GatorsZone.com. I'm Chris Harry. I'm alongside Scott Carter. We're in the Heavener Complex, and this week the Florida Gators will be in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium to wrap up their Southeastern Conference schedule with a game against the University of South Carolina. Florida's on a two-game winning streak. Its first two-game winning streak in the SEC in more than a year. Some people are feeling good about themselves around here, Scott.
Yeah, they got some momentum going, Chris. Those back-to-back conference losses against LSU and then obviously the Missouri loss. They needed something to happen positive, and they got that with a couple of wins the last 2 weeks. They've done it with cutting down the turnovers. Only one turnover the last two games after, 16 the previous 4 games, or 15, I'm sorry. And then Treon Harris, he's come in and did exactly what they needed in the offense. Just against Georgia, it was obviously the running game that got the job done. Up at Vanderbilt, you saw a more balanced approach. Treon Harris passes for 215 yards, named SEC Freshman of the Week on Monday. And he's just kind of rejuvenated this offense to some degree, and now they have South Carolina coming in, so another big test, and they have to win this game to stay in the race.
Let's flush out that Treon Harris situation a little bit. Kurt Roper said last week he was going to put a little more offense, a little more of the passing game onto his plate against a Vanderbilt defense that was last in the league in stopping the pass. South Carolina's down around the bottom also in stopping the pass. I would imagine they're going to put a little more out there for Treon Harris this week.
Yeah, he passed the test against Vanderbilt. You look at what he's done so far. 28 completions since he's taken over as starting quarterback, or at least on the season. They go for 18 yards each. That's a lot per completion. So it's moving the chains. 10 of his 13 completions on Saturday were for first downs. So when they do go to the passing game with him, they've gotten results down the field. Give him good field position. He's done the most important thing that the coaches have asked. He's not turned the ball over. So if you do those things and you're productive, your accuracy is good, you're going to move the ball.
Yeah, they've been saying since the preseason that Treon Harris is very decisive when he has the football, and that's kind of showing up nowadays. Now we'll turn our attention to the South Carolina Gamecocks, who are 4-5 and really struggling to win some football games. Steve Spurrier coming back to the place where he basically made the Gators kings of the SEC for his 12 seasons here. But Florida needs to win this game to stay in the SEC race and then see what happens elsewhere in the league, right?
Yeah, someone asked Jeff Driscoll earlier, is it kind of ironic that the guy who named the swamp is coming back when the Gators' mission this week is to take back the swamp? And, obviously that's always going to be a storyline when Steve Spurrier comes back here to face the Gators. And, he's not having the kind of season that South Carolina expected. 4-5, looking to avoid his first losing season in his 10 years there. Hard to believe he's been there 10 years, but he has. On the flip side, Florida has a lot to play for. They're still alive in the SEC East race, but to stay alive, they have to beat South Carolina. If they do, that'd be the 3rd win in a row. Obviously, continue this momentum into the late part of the season, and it's going to be a fun matchup on Saturday at noon.
South Carolina's averaging well over 400 yards a game. They're perfectly capable to come in here and give the Gators all they can handle. So Scott Carter will be there, Chris Harry will be here. You guys will be here with us next week. Thanks for joining us.